All right, so it's a pretty nice day out. I got the door open on the shop, and I got this this tank in here today. I didn't get around to getting more video footage of any of the service work that I did. I was just in such a hurry to get everything ready. We're already pushing time for the spring, so I didn't get any of that on video. Hopefully in the future I can. But today's project, I'm working on this hitch. At some point somebody pulled the ring off for the jack. So today I got this piece cut already. I drilled a hole straight down through in the drill press, and then I ground this end down, just so I can get a good bead of weld on there and try to get as much surface area in there as I can, so that when it'll be there, but when it comes up against here, it's gonna touch more of the surface. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up right here so I can get a good welding surface on there. And yeah. So we got that all ground down. I'm gonna go ahead and pull my leads for the welder, throw them on the back of the tank here. I've been starting to sandblast on the back of the tank here. This actually used to be a 7,300 gallon tank, and when we put the back on, we ended up cutting it. The old back was not good, and when we put the back on, just threw brushed some paint on here, and it was never really done right. We were in a hurry as usual, and like I said, so now I'm starting to go around, but I'm finding pretty quickly that this Harbor Freight sandblaster isn't really up to the job. Eventually I'd like to do the whole inside of the tank and repaint it, which would be well worth the time to do, but I'm gonna have to kind of go in the industrial direction, I guess, of sandblasters, because it's just not gonna do the job. Also, another side note before I get started welding, if you ever want to cut some metal, or are going to be cutting a bunch of metal, this is probably the best chop saw, or one of the best, and relatively inexpensive. I think I ended up paying around $500 for this chop saw. It's not an abrasive blade. It's almost like a wood cutting blade. This it's getting dulled out now. But I've been using a lot of scrap steel. I just did a whole dump body for one of our slide off boxes. Built it right here in the shop and used this to cut everything. And it's like a million times better than an abrasive disc. So this will save you like so much time. It's Evolution. I know they have a couple different models, but that the blade is like $90, but it's the best chop saw I've ever used. I'm using 6011 rod, or I'm sorry, 6010 rod for this job. It's really, I know it's mostly for pipe, or that's what it's recommended for, but I have a lot of good luck, and I use a lot of this rod because, especially for manure equipment, it's a really deep penetrating rod, and you don't necessarily need a lot of high heat. So on old metal, it works pretty well if you're trying not to burn through it. So I'm just going to go ahead and fit this up here and tack it on there. before I get too carried away, I'm gonna fit up and make sure this is actually gonna go on here. Looks like it's gonna be just right. So I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing some beads on this now. So since this is gonna take quite a bit of weight on here, I went ahead and threw a second bead down on top, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do one on the higher side of the tank itself, and then do another one on the lower side, bonded to those first two welds, and that's gonna kind of tie everything together. Whether it's necessary or not, you know, I'm not really sure, but clearly it broke off before. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that to make sure that we don't have to deal with this problem again. Alright, so I got this pretty much wrapped up here. What I kind of went for inside of this weld was more penetration as opposed to anything, so that I could get this hole right here closer to the actual tank, because the closer I can get it, the jack to the tank, the less, you know, moving around we're gonna have, and less you know, if it's out here, there's going to be a lot of weight on it. So that was kind of my goal there. So that way I was able to go around it and clean it up. And now we have a pretty nice tight fit. And once the jack goes up there, it's, you know, tight up against the tank, and which was our ultimate goal. So yeah, I'm gonna put that together, and this is a nice day. I got a lot of other things I got to do to the tank that hopefully I'm gonna get on film, so I might as well pull it out here and go from there. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.